Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men, they couldn't put Humpty together again. Or wouldn't. Because all the king's men knew that Humpty had been in deep with the Mexican cartel, and that was no accident. And the king's horses, well, they're horses. They don't have hands. Humpty didn't fall off that wall. He was murdered. Coming this summer on HBO, the Egg King has fallen and it's time to make Eggs Benedict. Humpty Dumpty. Rated R, because it's fucking sweet. If it were a real show, it'd be awesome, but it's not.
This episode of Real Garbage is brought to you by Common Sense. Get yourself some common sense now.
This episode is also brought to you by ridiculous song parodies. No one asks for them, but I do them anyway.
Real Garbage.
And we're back!
Hello.
What's happening?
Hello.
Hello! What's shaking?
A tail feather?
Oh.
Ooh.
You know what I realized?
What?
People are going to know we recorded this with the other one.
What do you
Because
mean?
of our clothes.
Oh no!
It's fine.
Exposed!
We recorded 2 in one day. It's okay.
We have busy schedules. We had to condense them today.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Next time, we'll bring and change clothes. Welcome to my living room.
Hello.
I don't know how it looks on camera. Probably looks messy, but it's not messy. It's really
Not.
clean.
Yeah.
I'm quite neat.
I'm a neat guy.
Do you remember watching the last King Kong movie?
Yep.
Was Peter Jackson?
Yeah.
Oh.
'Twas beauty that killed the beast.
Who played the John Goodman character? Do you remember?
Jack Black.
It was Jack Black.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
I kept expecting him in this
I know,
movie.
right?
And I was like, where's Jack Black? Oh, yeah, that's right. He's not in this.
I kept expecting Adrian Brody too.
Oh, yeah, because he was in the other one.
But I'll take Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, it was he's Loki, right?
Yeah.
He kept reminding me of Michael Fassbender. Like they could
I
be
know.
brothers. They kind of look
They
similar
Totally could be.
and sound similar. Well, we watched Kong Skull Island on this episode.
Yeah, we did.
And I remember, I watched this movie in theaters when it first came out.
Same.
And I remember getting up around the hour mark to go get popcorn because I kept smelling somebody's popcorn. I was like, I need popcorn. But I did. That's how little I cared for this movie. When I watched it the first time, I was like,
could leave.
oh, I could leave right now. 10 minutes, whatever. I can't even remember what part I left at,
Damn.
but I did.
I remember when I saw this, I really liked it. And I think, like, rewatching it, I think I really liked it because it was the classic, like, giant monkey, explosions, action, you know?
It was entertaining in those parts.
Yeah, but
The story was like, okay.
really lacking.
Yeah, it was kind of weak.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we start off with a World War II fight scene going on between young John C. Reilly and his Asian counterpart.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was. So then they're fighting on top of the mountain, and Kong just puts one hand up here and one hand. I'm like, why don't you just crush him?
I know.
Like, hey, I don't know who you are. Brah.
And then that scene is also the first of many scenes when events happening are reflected in someone's eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was a one-off, but it must be a signature because it happens like 7 times.
7 times?
I don't know.
I think I saw it at least 3.
Yeah.
Two for sure.
Yeah.
'Cause at the end, it's
more often than coincidental.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think the director just found that shot and was like, let's shoot the whole movie through someone's eyes. And someone was like, dude, we can't. And he's like,
Yes, we
fine.
can. Fire that person.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot as many scenes as I can in someone's eyes.
All right, get the reflection in the monkey's eyes. I wrote down I didn't like skinny John Goodman.
I know.
I'm not used to it. I'm
weird.
not used to it. His head looks too big for his body.
Like,
when
good
he's
for you, dude, but it's off-putting.
creeping me out.
Yeah.
He was
He's-
Dan Barr back
Yeah.
in the day. Roseanne's Dan, right? And he was
Yeah.
big. And then even like the Big Lebowski, he was
Yeah.
bigger too. That's
Yeah.
how I remember him. You're out of your element, Donnie. But yeah, he just looks weird skinny.
So this might be the earliest for me where I have pinpointed something I didn't like about a movie, but 2 minutes and 30 seconds in, when young John C. Reilly and his Japanese counterpart are fighting, wouldn't the katana slice off his fingers if he's holding the blade? Yeah, and he's just pulling it.
Yeah.
100% that would slice off his fingers.
Yeah.
And
there was no way that he wouldn't keep that katana sharp enough to do that.
Yeah, this is World War II.
Yeah. And that guy's like, death before dishonor. And
Yeah.
he's gonna, like, murder anybody with that blade.
So
yeah, that was a little shitty.
Immediately I was like, okay.
Maybe John C. Reilly's hands were made of steel.
Maybe.
They are not.
So
I wrote Shea Wignum is in everything.
Who dat?
This is the guy, I first saw him in Boardwalk Empire. He was Steve Buscemi's brother. You ever see Boardwalk?
No.
Oh, yeah, see Boardwalk.
Which guy was he in this movie?
He was the guy. Remember the guy that was eating the stuff out of the can? He was like, "Whoa, we did the best we could."
Oh,
It's Shea Wignum. He's in everything.
Yeah.
Like he's got 61 credits to his name. I first saw him, I want to say 2013. And since then, like everything you watch, you're like, "Oh, there he is again. Oh, there he is again. Holy shit, there he is again." He's in so much stuff. Which is awesome. I'm stoked for the guy. He's got a wicked career going. But as soon as I saw him, I was like, "Oh yeah, he's in this too. He's in everything."
Also,
There's a ton of big names in this, though.
the comment in 1973, John Goodman's character is like, "Mark my words, there'll never be a more screwed up time in Washington." Ha ha ha, Trump joke. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. And when did they make this? This was back in
2017.
Is it that recent?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it just came out on Netflix. That's right. So, yeah, total Trump joke. I was thinking it was like 2011 for some reason. I'm like, how did they know? You could basically say there will never be a more screwed up time. Yeah, it's inevitable. It's politics.
And coming full circle kind of here, the guy who played Thomas Cubb in Project X, the episode we released today, is one of the soldiers.
Oh, yeah, that's where I recognize him from.
Slivko.
Oh,
He's
I kept
just
thinking
a little...
like he's a little more buff.
Yeah.
I kept thinking, where do I know this guy from? Project X.
I know.
That's crazy. What the fuck?
I know. Isn't that...
Just keep happening.
Yeah.
I like the soundtrack. I loved the soundtrack in this movie.
Same.
All those old Vietnam, the tunes you always play during Vietnam movies and stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, man, I run through the jungle.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't play White Rabbit, but I feel
They
like
did.
that's... Did they?
They did.
Stop.
It was when they went to find Hiddleston in the bar.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, listen, of course they're playing White Rabbit. That's hilarious.
Yeah, the soundtrack, 100%. I loved. Now let's get to the stuff we didn't love. So.
Well, I gotta say, I loved how many actors I recognized.
Yeah.
Like you got two guys from Straight Outta Compton, young Dr. Dre and young Eazy-E.
Yeah.
And then you've got Samuel L. Jackson, Tom Hiddleston,
Brie
Larson. Brie Larson. I don't know what it is about her that I find attractive. She's got a big blocky face, but I think I like the square face look. I don't know. It's just me. I'm just like, weird.
Do you find Olivia Wilde attractive?
Yeah.
Yep, square face thing.
Yeah, she's got square. I'm so jealous of Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, Jason Sudeikis is hot too.
He is. He's funny. He's funny as fuck too.
Yeah.
Oh, is this one of those hidden camera shows? And we're gonna hop out of this box and bite me in my penis? No, nothing's gonna jump out. I'm just a FedEx girl. I don't believe it. All right, yeah. So then we get into they get on the ship and they're gonna all right, they've got the whole plan. They're gonna get in there. Why do you think this place is just surrounded by storms?
I don't know, but that's what I wrote. So
They
the
don't
island,
explain it.
the island is surrounded by a perpetual system of storms that's made it impossible and invisible to everyone who sees it. So why can we now see it? Why is it now being found?
And if this is something that's been looked at for a long time, like this is a mysterious island that's never been ventured into, there's no way the American government isn't all over that. And
like
they're like, well, I don't know if we want to go out there.
Yeah,
sure we do.
It took the American government to... It took a threat of like Russia finding it first for them to do it. Yeah. And we all know if there was like an island with a weird storm system that could have, oil or something on it.
Trump would probably think like the Russians were already in there.
Yeah.
They've completely covered themselves with a storm. We can't get in. We have to go now. It's my horrible Trump impression. It's going to get better.
The one thing I noticed about Brie Larson's character that I didn't like or appreciate is they made her character like randomly sassy for no reason. Like
Yeah.
she's getting in the helicopter and Tom Hiddleston's already sitting there and she's like,
Move.
like, just go around to the other side or scooch over him.
Just
Like,
say, do you mind scooching over?
yeah, don't be like, move. Like, God.
Bitch.
Yeah.
Get out the way.
Get out the way.
She's a horrible photographer
Yeah.
because I wrote down several times, why isn't she taking pictures of this?
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't she taking pictures of that? Bah, we're getting ahead of myself. So then I love how they get in the choppers and they decide to fly through a storm with the chopper doors open.
Yep.
Does it seem safe? Not really. Nobody's strapped in.
I
don't think
know.
anybody's wearing a seatbelt.
No.
They're just holding onto the sides like, this is amazing. Oh my God. And it's this like a hurricane they're going through.
Yeah.
Lightning and fucking wind. Like,
Yeah.
So that was stupid.
And
then
then
they get in there and they get jumped by Kong.
But I will say, before they get jumped by Kong, the sequence where they're past the storm and they're flying in, oh my God, such good cinematography.
Like with the flying choppers and stuff?
Yeah, with the choppers, the slow-mo, the birds, the shot of the explosions and the aviators was cool.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Also, Samuel L. Jackson at 23 minutes and 20 seconds said, hold on to your butts.
I know, I wrote it down. Ha! Hold on to your butts.
He's like, once again, as always, hold on to your butts.
Right back to Jurassic Park.
And then I
Clever
wrote,
girl.
where was this filmed? Hawaii, the Philippines, Thailand, and then at the end in the credits it said thank you to Vietnam and Hawaii. So
And there, crap, you told me there was an extra credits scene and
Yeah.
I did not watch it.
well, I wrote it down for you.
Okay. What was it?
So the post-credit scene was so the post-credit scene, Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson are in this like interrogation room and the screen is black and then it starts all meta and Tom Hiddleston's voice comes on and he's like, "Are you enjoying this? What are you waiting for? Sitting in the dark." And then the screen opens and they're in the interrogation room and Tom is like, "Just let us go. I promise I won't tell the Russians." And Brie Larson's like, "I will tell the Russians." And then the guys that were with John Goodman from the Monarch Society come into the room and say, you know, Kong's not the only one. And it's a tease. And they bring out Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, and Ghidorah.
Oh, it's
Ghidorah? And I looked it up, and they're setting up the Monsterverse, as they're calling it. And I wrote earlier on in my notes before the post-credit scene, I said something like, with movies like this, I wonder how aware the other characters are. Like, do they know about the movie Godzilla? Do they know not to attack or provoke aggressive animals? And then at the very end, they know about Godzilla. So they're like, and then at the very end, when the screen goes black, you hear the iconic Godzilla roar. Yeah. So they're teasing.
I wonder when that's coming out.
I hope there are sequels in the works.
They've already fucking made Godzilla like 6 times.
I know.
They don't need to make it again.
I would love to see a Rodan or Ghidorah movie.
Because did you watch the last Godzilla with Bryan Cranston?
Yeah.
It was not good.
No,
it was terrible.
No.
Like fucking terrible.
But maybe
should
that's
just
why
stop.
they're gonna do it again. To
Like,
make
well,
it
we gotta
good.
make it better. I prefer the one with Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
Just kidding, I don't. It was actually fun though.
Yeah, it was
an
a fun
entertaining
watch.
movie. It was a little silly with all the little baby dinosaurs. Like, I was like, oh, these are just baby raptors in the hockey arena here.
But yeah, so the post-credit scene, they tease a whole monster verse where King Kong and Godzilla and Rodan and Mothra and everyone else are all part of the monster verse. So that's super cool. I got super pumped for that.
Okay, I have to watch that later because I totally forgot about it.
But yeah, so back to Hold On to Your Butts.
Hold on to your butts.
I kept seeing, like, if you ever watch this movie at 27 minutes, fantastic cinematography, the brief slow-mo of the choppers over the lush green forest, like, it was so good.
That's right when the tree gets thrown right through the windshield. Eh?
Yes!
That was pretty
the
cool. I was like,
palm
the fuck
tree
is
gets
that? Oh.
thrown like a spear. And you know Kong's not fucking around.
Kong works out.
Yeah.
It's jacked.
And then people get stupid. Anyone know what that is? Have you never seen a gorilla before?
Yeah.
Like, this is the 70s. You have zoos in America. Like, it's a gorilla. It might be you've never seen a giant one, but you've seen a
200 feet tall.
silverback. Like,
You'd think so. But maybe not. 1973. Maybe you haven't gone to the zoo. Maybe you spent your time drinking in bars or in the military.
maybe.
And in Vietnam doesn't have gorilla. Wait,
But you've seen pictures. Yeah, I think so.
Might be.
You've seen
Maybe.
pictures of monkeys.
Probably. Yeah, it seems a little odd. But that's just shitty writing.
True.
Oh my God, what is that? Well, it seems to be a giant monster of some sort.
And then why is it always like fire at will? Like, this is an animal, and sure, it's aggressive and it's attacking you, but it's because you're dropping bombs on its habitat.
Well, and why wouldn't they have used the bombs against Kong?
Yeah.
Like, fly above him, drop some bombs on him. And it's an annoying thing, too. Just fly high enough that he can't get you.
Yeah.
Like, and then just observe.
Yeah.
It's okay, let's see what he's up to.
Yeah.
Is he going to attack us? Is he going to be hostile? Is he going to be cool? Because had they just waited and not started, had they stopped bombing and just taken a minute, flown up top and been like, okay, hey, we're sorry. Started yelling at him, we're sorry.
We're sorry.
And he's like, all right, cool, fine. So that was a little stupid.
And then the second eyeball thing happened, and that's when I said there are so many shots of events reflecting in people's eyeballs. Is this a trademark?
The whole MonsterVerse is just shots of reflections.
Yeah. And then when so Kong attacks him, fucking just royally messes their shit up. Their copters, they're scattered, most of them are dead. They have to find each other. And Samuel L. Jackson is like personally offended by Kong. He immediately is like, has a personal vendetta against him. And he's like, you fucking monkey.
I wrote down SLJ, Samuel L. Jackson, just stands there like, fuck you.
Yeah. He's like, motherfucker.
Yeah, basically, I'm tired of these giant motherfucking apes on this motherfucking island.
Yeah.
I got a kick out of this. Shea Wignum is, they're flying in the chopper. They got knocked down and he goes, do you love your mother?
Yeah.
What? Do you love your mother? Yeah, I love my mother so much. They crash. I'm like, what? Why did you bother with that stupid line?
I think, like, from what I took of it is, they have, like, when you're in the army or the military or whatever, you have this bond with guys. And I think because Shea Wignum's character, Cole, was older, I think he was saying that to, I'm going to just call him Eazy-E. Yeah. He was saying to Eazy-E, like, do you love your mom? Because if they were to die, like, it'd feel good if you're like, I love my mom. Like,
yeah, I guess. That's true. It just seemed cheesy.
It definitely was like, okay.
Kind of cheesy.
And then, so Randa, Skinny John Goodman's character is with Samuel L. Jackson.
Mm-hmm. So he tells him all the shit.
And yeah, and the story Randa says when, he's on this boat or this ship.
The SS whatever, 30 years ago.
Yeah, so is he saying that Kong, like, he was previously attacked by Kong?
I think so, yeah.
Like,
that's what I got. That's what I gathered from that.
Two people with personal vendettas against this monkey.
Yep.
Like,
well, he wasn't even. It's not like he wanted revenge.
No, he just wanted to
prove that he was. Yeah, that Kong was real.
Yeah.
And it's like, how would nobody, like, in 30 years, he hasn't figured out a way to get some sort of coverage on this. Yeah, to go back. I'm like,
yeah,
that seems kind of odd. That's a long time.
And then we see that there are normal-sized animals on this island, too. There are giant ones, but there are also normal-sized ones. Yeah. And like, we see deer running away and normal birds, and it kind of, I don't know. I wish with this, like, weird, stormy like, island that's mysterious, we're first introduced to Kong, who's humongous, and then to just show us regular-sized deer and animals. It's weird to me.
You'd think Kong would have eaten them all, too, because he seems to eat people.
Yeah.
He eats flesh, so I'm guessing he eats deer.
Like,
and he would have eaten himself right out of that habitat.
Totally.
Or eaten those giant spiders.
Yeah.
The one giant spider.
The bamboo-legged spider.
What the heck? I forgot about that. I was like, oh yeah, giant spider.
But yeah, it seemed really random that there were regular-sized animals as well as giant ones cohabitating.
I never really thought of that. Good point.
Like,
Because it does seem really odd. It's because it should just be an island of giants.
yeah.
Or an island of not giants.
Yeah, that would make more sense because then when, they were alluding to Godzilla, Mothra at the very end, that would make sense that there were like places that were secluded with just giant animals. So the fact that this is like giants but then regular sized animals is super weird.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. I wonder if that's something they overlooked. And we're just
Probably.
like, let's put some deer in there.
Yeah.
What was up with the giant water
Buffalo?
just chilling out underwater?
I know.
Can it breathe underwater?
I mean, who knows at this point? And that was another note. I was like, but then
41 minutes in.
yeah, why are there giant gorillas and water buffalo? Like, what dictates their size in this natural habitat?
And the one giant spider. Like, spiders spawn in hundreds. Why wouldn't there be more than one giant spider? That whole island should just be crawling with giant spiders.
Yeah.
That was one issue I had, was like, why is there only just one?
And then we also, in the mix of normal-sized animals, we also saw normal-sized water buffalo. Like, when they were in the helicopter, they were, like, running around. So...
Well, and they get half-size, too, because she tries to lift a helicopter off of one that's not super big, but it's big.
So, like, are they born small and then they just roid out? Like...
I don't know. Well, they talk about the portal into the different part of the world, right?
Yeah.
So maybe going through the storm is like a portal, but there's no explanation of how these things get huge.
It's,
Like, is it something in the water?
It's weird.
Fluoride or something?
And then, so I do like how there's just random comedic moments peppered in out of nowhere that kind of like, because they're so out of nowhere, they just make you laugh. So when Eazy-E and Shay are talking, Shay's like, have you ever heard the story of the mouse and the lion and the thorn?
No, the mouse kills the lion with the thorn. He's like, no, who told you that? My mother did. That explains a lot. No, they become friends after. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
I'd love to hear the story of how the mouse killed the lion with a thorn. Though.
Yeah.
Pulled it in,
the
stabs him
eyeball,
in the
maybe.
throat repeatedly. Little jabs.
And then I said, also, that giant bamboo-legged spider, no thank you.
No, I don't like spiders to begin with. Not one's that big. I just kill me.
Yeah.
Just kill me.
That thing was, like, it looked bigger than Kong.
Yeah. Which is, and again, it's so confusing. It's like, why aren't there more? There should be more. They're spiders. So did one get mutated from a sack of 100 spiders?
Yeah,
like, you have been chosen. I don't want to be big.
But yeah, like, that shot, though, when they were walking in the bamboo, and then a guy, like, looks up and then gets impaled.
Right in the mouth.
Wow. That was cool.
I kept thinking, what the hell was that? Because I couldn't remember it was a giant spider. It might have been right there where I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go get popcorn.
Oh.
Well, the Aboriginals had killer camo.
Yeah. Holy crap.
And then I love John C. Reilly. So it's okay. As goofy as he is, he's a great actor. Mm-hmm. And I've been learning about like not blinking on camera and stuff and like staring at people. And it's crazy. You watch this movie and a lot of them are just boom, dead stare at everybody. Nobody's blinking. I'm like, wow, it's fucking wild. John C. Reilly's just telling doing these long monologues without blinking. I love it when he's going like, You're better looking than a hot dog and a beer on opening day at Wrigley Field. And then he looks down at his hand, and you get to see the emotion just wave over him in a split second. He just goes, and shakes it off, and goes, anyway, we better get out of here. We don't want to be out here at night. And he's so tanned.
I know.
He's like so tanned.
Another continuity thing. He's been on that island for 28 years.
29 years.
29 years. How does his flight suit still fit? Because he is not that skinny, fit soldier anymore we saw in the beginning. He is portly now. And
his beard should be even longer.
Yeah.
His beard would be like down to his knees.
Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, I don't know what's going to be underneath this beard. And he doesn't even, I'm getting ahead of myself, but he doesn't even shave it off. He's like, I'm scared to see what's underneath here. And he still just gives himself a goatee.
I know.
And a beard. The giant octopus.
I loved the creature concept art. Like, visually, the giant creatures were stunning.
Except for the stupid bad, like the real bad ones. They look so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they look. They look like
They only had 2 appendages.
Yeah, they had arms and a tail and a face.
Yeah.
It seems impractical.
Yeah.
But this giant octopus, he's just all of a sudden just reaches into the water. He's like, brah, pulls out one tentacle and then fights a giant, like, it's more than an octopus. It has like 16 fucking tentacles.
Yeah, and Kong pulls up. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we'll set the scene. The guy who was stranded alone, Chapman.
Jake. Yeah.
Yeah, Jake Chapman. I was like,
He's great in, is it Rock and Roller that he's in? Or Not Smoking Aces? It's one of those Guy Ritchie movies where he's like a heroin addict, super thin.
Yeah.
I think it's Rock and Roller. Or something like, no, Rock and Roller was, dude from 300. This is Sparta. Boom.
Oh, Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler. I think that's Rock and Roller. This guy, I don't know. He's in something else. I'll figure it out.
But yeah,
Phone's over there.
He's getting water, which I wouldn't just, mutated gorilla. I wouldn't just openly drink the water. But anyway, and then Kong just comes through the mountains and is like soaking in this like a bath, and the Chapman's in the water, and then he runs out because he thinks Kong's gonna come after him.
Yeah.
And the octopus comes and attacks Kong, but the octopus has been in the water for a while, so why wouldn't it have just coiled up Chapman?
Yeah, maybe it wanted something bigger.
Maybe
it wanted to eat Kong.
Nice try.
This is my question. This thing's been here for how long, this giant octopus?
Yeah.
It's in the ocean. Why does it stick around that island? Why doesn't it travel around the world?
I know.
And why hasn't anyone seen it in 30 years, this giant octopus? That's what I was like, it shouldn't just be staying there. Maybe it just likes there, but I think an octopus would be like, I'm going to go see what else is around here.
And go hang out. Oh my God.
Devour humans.
Oh my God.
What?
Cross multiverse theory. In the Meg, they go down in that cloud, and the Meg eats that giant octopus. Boom. What if the Kong yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
We've made a connection. Someone out there is like, shit. They know. Send someone there now. Love the art. The art on the stones.
Yeah.
That was actually kind of cool.
That 3D.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive, actually. I'm like, who thought of that? You can only see it from one spot. And then I started thinking, okay, how many big monsters can they make in this movie? Because we got the octopus, the bad guys, the skull things.
The spiders.
The spider. Then these creepy birds.
Oh, yeah.
The creepy birds. Then they could have flown away. The creepy birds could have flown away. I'm sure they could have made it through the storm or just flown up and over the storm.
Yeah.
So there's that logic isn't there. Mm-hmm. The octopus should be able to go. The birds should be able to go.
Yeah.
Jesus. Drop that real fast.
Also, when John C. Reilly is showing them to the sacred place, he says he can tell that the ship had been there for 10 years prior. When he was in the war, he was like 18 to 21. And, that was in 43. So how in 33 would he know what the ship was? Because he would have been 8 to 11.
Well, in 43, he knew it had been there for 10 years. So he's probably seen a ship like that somewhere before in his adult life. So he's like, I figured it'd be here for about 10 years before I got here. So that thing was a shipwreck in 1933.
Yeah, but in 1933, he was like 8 or 11.
Well, yeah, but 10 years of a boat sitting there, he could tell that it's rusted out, right? That's why he knows it's probably been here for about 10 years.
Oh.
Because the ship, it got here about 10 years before I did. I could tell from the rust holes and the barnacles. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like he didn't see the ship when he was 8 years old, but he knew that it was a ship that had been there for a decade before he got there because of the rust and what it looked like and where it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, how do you know that it's been there for 10 years?
It was just a wild guess.
And so these indigenous people have been cohabitating with, like, let's just call them dinosaurs or lizards. And then Kong appeared out of nowhere and started killing them off and protecting the people for some reason. Because that's how the story goes.
Family.
Yeah.
Because he had a family.
Yeah. Which is, like, so sad to think about.
Well, it's
like that they're
interesting
all dead.
because they're dead. They got killed by the big one. He kills the big one.
Yeah.
Looking at their bones, they look bigger than Kong does.
So how the fuck?
How'd they lose when there was more of them? That doesn't make any sense. Because they should have been like, no, they should have been the kings of the island because they're shit-kicking giant gorillas.
Yeah.
So that was a big plot hole.
Yeah, like how did Kong's parent? Yeah.
But this fucking crash. The helicopter comes down on one of these giant water buffaloes, and instead of going to get help,
she
tries to lift a helicopter.
Yeah.
Like, come on, idiot! And then he comes by, picks it up, and this is again where I go back to you're a terrible photographer Because this is a gigantic gorilla right in front of you.
Yeah.
Why aren't you taking pictures of it?
Yeah.
Take fucking, like, you're there to get proof of this giant monster.
Yeah.
Snap shots. She just doesn't. She just stares at him like, you're dumb.
Maybe she's afraid that, like, her flash is going to go off.
She's been shooting without a flash.
That's true.
She's been shooting without a flash because John Goodman whips the camera out later and there's a flash on it.
Yeah. I also loved how John C. Reilly was like, I call them skull crawlers. Why? Because it sounds neat.
Because it sounds neat. Oh, yeah, there's a giant wooden tree bug. That's another big one.
The stick bug.
Stick bug. Because I'm like, what is this fucking thing?
And why would he start shooting at it? You've obviously seen a regular sized stick bug in your life. You know that they're fucking plant eaters.
Yeah.
Why would you start just shooting at it?
He's scared.
But that's such a like,
military thing.
Yeah, it's
shoot
such
first, ask questions later.
It's such a testosterone-y thing. Like
Testosterone. Sounds like some sort of pasta.
Testosterone.
Yeah, testosterone.
Testosterone.
Make it with a spaghetti sauce. Bam. Oh, I love the Northern Lights.
Oh my
pretty
God,
cool.
yeah.
For those of you who don't know what that are, those are something that we get up here in Canada. You won't get it.
Check out the prairies.
Just Google Aurora Borealis.
Aurora Borealis.
Aurora Borealis at this time of day.
And then
I love how Hiddleston just opens right up to her. Barely knows her, but it's just like, well, you know, my mother died, and then my father did. I'm like, I can't remember what they're talking about, but he gets like right in depth with her.
I know.
I'm like, whoa, dude, you're sure letting a lot out for someone you barely know.
I would have been like, dude, I don't care. Like, I didn't ask.
So I thought that was kind of weird.
Yeah, and then the scientist with the mustache is so judgy and unhelpful.
The guy's a douchebag.
Like,
wait, that's Paul F. Tompkins, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck! I forgot that was him.
And
that guy's hilarious.
He's just like turning the plane into a boat to want to work. Like, do you have any better ideas?
Yeah, like, dude, just help us.
Come on, Bill Nye.
Just help us.
Like,
science rules. Oh God! So the cheesiness of the smiling shots after they start the boat. So they get the boat running, then they start it up, and it's like ha 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 ha. They just get everybody gets a shot like ha ha ha. We did it, team. And then it cuts back to John C. Reilly, and he's like, well, I guess this is goodbye. And then right there, as they're drifting, like they nod to him, and he's like, 29 years, you give him some fucking hugs, dude. If you're ever in Chicago, look me up. But she takes one picture. She's behind him, barely has him in the frame.
I know.
Takes a picture. I'm like, get a picture of him, his emotion. He's gonna be fucking breaking down after 29 years with these Aboriginal people.
yeah.
But that right there, I'm like, just take pictures. You be a photographer. You're a terrible photographer.
I know. And then
Anyway.
I loved the quote, an enemy doesn't exist until you go looking for one.
Ah, that's right. That's
Ain't that
Shea
the
Wignum.
truth?
Shea Wignum, full of wisdom.
And then
Why is Wignum?
they're on the boat and Tom Hiddleston and John C. Reilly are talking, and John C. Reilly is like, did we win the war? And Tom's like, which one? And then they're talking about the Cold War. And he's like, John C. Reilly's like, Cold War? Like they take the summers off?
I love John C. Reilly. I love this. An hour 13 in, they're on the boat. Nobody noticed the pterodactyls flying?
And then, side note about John C. Reilly. John C. Reilly's character does not seem fazed or intrigued at all when the scientist says, we put a man on the moon.
Oh, yeah.
And he's more interested in have the Cubs won a World Series. Like, he does not, we put a man on the moon. What's he eating? Do we leave him there? Like, I'd be like, whoa!
On the moon? What's the moon? That's what I would have been thinking.
Yeah.
I don't think they knew back then, did they? Yeah, they probably did. So now they go to risk everything for Jake.
Oh,
Why would they risk everything for one dude?
I know, and he's already dead.
That's a silly thing, is that, Samuel L. Jackson he's a colonel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Colonel Packard.
Yeah.
He's smarter than that. He could look at that and go, all right, it's one man versus this whole crew, and we only have 36 hours to get to our extraction point, or none of us go. Let's go. But then we realized he just wanted to blow the fuck out of King Kong.
Yeah.
Eh.
And then I'm just gonna call Project X's character Thomas Cub
Sure.
in my notes.
Cub.
Thomas Cub, he's on the plane boat, and he finally gets
The
a
float.
signal out. Yeah, and he's like, "I'm on a float.
I'm on a float.
I'm on a float. Take a good hard look at the motherfucking float."
We're on a plane. Boat. It's a float.
And then after he said float, it made me think of John C. Reilly and Step Brothers, where they're like, "Deadliest catch without the crabs."
Boats and hoes.
The boats and hoes.
It's weird all the connections in these movies.
I know.
He's on a boat. He did a boat video.
And then you can't go west. East is best. West is worst.
Yeah.
That's why we say it.
That's where the skull things live. Oh, I love this. They're walking through the pits with all the gas things, and
Yeah.
Buddy throws a cigarette.
I know.
Throws a cigarette in front of him. The explosion happens behind him.
I know.
Continuity, people.
Science rules.
Oh, I love how it's like it's snowing ash there too.
Yeah.
And nobody's coughing, so I'm guessing something's burning.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's like, oh, it stinks
Yeah.
around here. Oh,
Yeah.
something's weird. So there's no environmental impact on them. They're just like, just walking through this ashy snowstorm.
And then
And I love how the monster just conveniently coughs up the head of who they're looking for right in between them, even when it doesn't know that they're there.
And then that's another thing I wrote. I guess Tom Hiddleston has super zoom enhanced vision to read the dog tags on that skull. That's far away from
I
him.
can't read the fucking writing on my paper in front of
Yeah.
me right there. I gotta pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
so dog tags, no. That shit's like smashed into there.
And then the lizard thing, the skull crawler, can't smell them. He was like super close to Chapman when he ate him. And are old cameras really that loud that you could hear it inside the creature?
Oh no, yeah, that's fucking stupid. And see the flash.
flash.
Yeah, that's just dumb. That whole part was stupid.
Oh yeah, so Randa is skinny John Goodman's character is like taking photos, and then he is like, "Oh shit," and gets eaten, and his camera gets eaten.
Yeah,
And the camera's taking photos
when
inside the body of the lizard.
When that happened, I was like, did he just get eaten?
Yeah,
Wow, that was fast. He's done.
I know.
This is so silly. Oh yeah, the flamethrower. So she runs. She's running from this thing. She's amazingly fast, and they're amazingly slow, I
Yeah.
guess, because that thing could have taken 2 lunges and been like, you're toast. But she dives under a bunch of bones, like under a rib cage. And Buddy shoots the flamethrower right at her.
I know. And a cigarette causes an explosion,
Yeah,
but a
flamethrower
flamethrower
doesn't.
no.
And she would have been so toast.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
So I thought that was stupid.
And then my note says, "Ew, I just noticed it only has 2 legs / arms. What the fuck? How is that prime for its evolution? Like to only have 2 appendages."
Yeah. You'd think this would be like a totally advanced, evolved creature. Maybe
Yeah.
it's halfway through, though. Maybe it's still growing legs.
Yeah, maybe.
I love that Buddy drops the bombs, and it just says toxic gas on them.
Yeah.
Like, cool. Hey, what kind of bombs you want to bring? Bring the toxic
gas.
ones. And that fucking explodes like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I love how Hiddleston asks for the sword. He's, sword! And just starts slicing birds up. I'm like, wow, dude. It's
Yeah.
a total green screen fucking just.
Yeah. And also interesting that you're like well versed with a katana.
Yeah. He's probably never seen one in his life. Just,
Yeah.
give me your sword.
Give
Like, it
me
would have
your
been better for
sword.
John C. Reilly to be doing that because I'm sure he's had some experience with it.
Yeah.
Because he's holding it like he knows what he's doing. Death before dishonor.
And then after the lizard thing goes away, it's revealed that Samuel L. Jackson, still wants to go west.
Oh yeah, because they go, he's like, I'm sorry to tell you, but Chapman's dead. And he
Yeah.
goes, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what? Come
Like-
on, dude. Nope, doesn't matter. We're still
Doesn't
going.
matter. We're
But
still fucking shit up.
That's where we're going. Nope, doesn't matter. We're going to that crash site anyway.
Yeah,
'Cause we
like,
need to blow this motherfucker up.
and then they separate, and excuse me, the ones that want to go to the boat and go to the pickup site leave, and then the rest of them go with Samuel L. Jackson, kind of against their will.
Yeah.
And then John C. Reilly's like, those sound like birds, but they're fucking ants. They're giant ants.
Wait, we don't see them.
No, that's the one giant creature we never see. That would have been kind of cool.
I totally forgot about that. I really thought we were going to see giant ants.
Yeah.
We didn't. What the fuck? And then, okay. Then, yeah, I love this. He sees mushrooms and he goes, there's water close by.
Yeah.
Is that a dead indicator that there's water nearby? How far? Like, we live here on an island, and there's mushrooms growing everywhere,
Yeah.
but the ocean's miles away. There's water
There's
nearby.
water.
All right.
And then they're hanging out, and they climb like that cliff or whatever, and then Kong is there.
Yeah.
And
She still doesn't photograph him.
No, and she's still more frightened than Tom Hiddleston is, which doesn't make sense because she has already come in contact with Kong alone, and he didn't hurt her at all. So it doesn't make sense that she's shaking and like more afraid than Tom is.
Yeah, he's still pretty big and imposing.
True.
Kind of like her.
And then she does like she puts her hand on his nose.
It's a hairy ass nose.
Yeah.
I look like chest hair or something.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. But yeah, I'm like, just take his picture. Take his goddamn picture. He's right there. He's right in front of you. I don't know why you wouldn't.
And then I noticed that King Kong and other creatures filmed against a sun or a moon backdrop is like another signature, like the eyeball thing.
Yep.
Like, and one of the shots that I really liked was when that douchey scientist got picked up by the pterodactyls and got ripped apart in front of the sun.
Oh, yeah.
And you just saw the silhouette.
Old Paul F. Tompkins, gone. So many big names in this.
Yeah. And then, so we get to, like, I guess the
final fight.
Yeah, the climax. And
they set explosions over on the other side of the valley.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sitting there thinking, I don't think you guys had enough time.
No.
Because you're not going to the boat. Somebody took the boat. So how'd you get the napalm to the other side of the water? Dump it all out, get back, set fires on both sides.
Yeah.
And then have enough to just torch him when he comes. I'm like, this is just, it's excessive.
And then Kong, of course, clichédly, like, comes through the flames.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously.
Can't burn me. And then he falls.
Yeah.
So obviously you can.
And then...
So the big one didn't. That's the big one. It didn't look scary at all. These monsters look so stupid. It was just the exact same as the other things, just a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
That's the big one. I was like, oh god.
Like, okay, shouldn't be a problem.
Why doesn't she take monster fight pictures?
Yeah.
Like she's looking through the lens of her camera, but she's not snapping any shots. I'm like, this is something the world is going to want to see. Take fucking pictures, but nothing.
Yeah.
These things are fighting each other. I'm just like, oh my god. You should snap.
I know.
Take a bunch.
And then at this point in the movie, I realized that Samuel L. Jackson has not said his signature motherfucker.
Nope.
And I was like...
He doesn't, does he?
He kind of does. Because 5 minutes later, when Kong smushes him when he's about to hit the napalm.
Oh, yeah.
He says, mother, and then the hand squishes him.
You're dead, motherfucker.
And then Cole sacrificing himself. Whoa.
Oh, yeah, that's Wignum. His the rubber gun, I had to play it twice. He drops that gun that he got from the farmer, and it goes...
I know.
It wobbles. I'm like, oh, that's a rubber gun.
And then I thought it was going to be so cliched because he's wearing all the explosives and he
pulls the pin on the grenades.
And then he's like, come on, you motherfucker. And then he's anticipating the creature to eat him. And then he just turns and backhands him against the side of the mountain with his tail. And I was like, oh my God, you died in vain.
And the explosion when he hit. So I guess we're supposed to believe that the two grenades blew up the grenades that he had on his bandolier.
Yeah.
But there was no like explosion of the two grenades and then more explosions.
I know,
it was just one
all
giant explosion.
one.
I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Those grenades wouldn't blow up that big. Especially because they might be the toxic gas ones.
Oh yeah, and then earlier on, like when they first crashed on the island, one of the soldiers, Relis, he was like holding his abdomen, and Samuel L. Jackson was like, "Are you all right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be totally a fake out." And then almost towards the end of the movie, I realized, never mind, just realized Relis guy is fine and he's still alive. He wasn't clichédly hiding an injury.
Oh, the other dude that was like when they said, "You taking an R&R day?" and he's like, "No, we're
Yeah,
good."
yeah. I totally thought he like
guess he was just sore.
I would be. But yeah, I totally thought he was doing that cliched, like I'm fine, and then it's revealed that he has blood on his hand type of thing.
No,
but good. No, he was fine.
So I thought the monster fight was pretty cool. That's one thing I really liked about this. It was actually pretty badass. I like watching it's way better than watching giant robots fight on Pacific Rim or Atlantic Rim. Tyler.
But when it was fighting, it kind of had elements of when King Kong was fighting the dinosaurs in the Peter Jackson one, especially with the like
pulling the jaws apart.
Yeah. And I was like, are you really going to kill it the same way and bite out its tongue? No, it didn't. And well, kind of. Yeah, same. And then they hit, he thinks he killed it. And then
picks her up out of the water.
Why is she unconscious? She got knocked off the
top of the mountain. She fell pretty far. You know, if
guess.
you fall like 100 feet into water flat on your back like that, it's gonna knock the wind out of you. You might be unconscious. Probably smacked your head too. So in that case, she's breathing water for a solid 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Pulls her out of the water and is like,
I know, he's like,
and then he gets hit by the fucking monster and just closes his fist. I'm like, you would have crushed her.
Yeah.
And because he went back into the water with his hand, then back up, and he's punching the thing. I'm like, no, she's totally crushed. Would just open up his hand and went, I was just putting blood and legs and arms.
And then the lizard like eats Kong's hand, and he's like, oh, yeah. No. And then that's how he kills him, is he rips out his hand and out comes his tongue and his spinal cord and stuff.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense because he would have had to open his hand. Drop her, grab some shit, squish her, and then blood. She would have been dead. And then he just looks at her and she's like, coughs up water. I'm like, no, you're toast. You're dead.
Right?
Sorry,
I was
Brie Larson,
anticipating Kong to like try and do CPR.
She's really Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh shit! That's why she's not dead.
Oh yeah.
She's realized her powers. Oh, so stupid. And then I want to say he grabbed. Oh yeah, Hiddleston's running over to her. Grabs the camera on the way.
Yeah.
I love that. So instead of going right to her, he's like, wait, the camera. What if she's still alive? And that's when, he sits her up and she's like, pukes up all the water.
Yeah.
Fuck. So silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Just like grab the camera. I'm like, wow, you're an inconsiderate prick.
I know, right?
You fucking dick.
Priorities.
Yeah. And then at the end, the choppers come in, the reflection in Kong's eyes. Did he kill them?
Yeah, I was like, wow, Kong's triggered.
Yep.
Like, he's going to fuck that shit up again. And that's what I said. I was like, oh my God, Kong's going to fuck up those planes. Nope, never mind. They made it.
Oh, wait, because there's a scene after that? Oh,
yeah, and then John C. Reilly goes home.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then, you know what's funny? Before my note, Kong's going to fuck up those planes or helicopters, I said, I wonder if there will ever be a modern crossover between Godzilla and King Kong.
Dun, dun,
5 minutes later.
Well, wasn't that Rampage? Technically, giant lizard, giant wolf, giant gorilla.
Oh,
Rampage was the combination of those monsters, and now they're doing King Kong with Godzilla, Mothra. Like it's just you're doing the same thing. It's just overkilling it.
Yeah.
They put the Rock in there probably.
No one will ever get tired of seeing giant monsters fight, though. Let's be honest.
Ugh, I'm tired of it. It's I don't know. Just
what
like
do you want to see? Tiny monsters.
Tiny
fight?
monsters, like
micro monsters.
Ant-Man and Wasp style size. Might shrink them to microscopic size and fight.
Like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids mixed with like
a great movie.
I know, right?
We should fucking podcast that.
Yes.
Zelensky, give it a rest. It's Saturday. I watched that movie so much when I was a kid. Auntie.
When I found out why Rick Moranis stopped acting,
it's pretty crazy, right?
Oh my God.
Fucking sad.
Sad, but so
bravo, motherfucker.
So wholesome to really have that like introspection and look at yourself and be like, my kids need me.
Because his mom, the wife passed away, right?
Yeah.
He's taking care of the kids.
Yeah. To do that and like sacrifice your career to give your kids like a normal, healthy life. Bravo. Like,
well, I'm sure he was smart enough to save his money. He seemed like he was. Like he didn't have any issues.
Yeah.
He's just like, fuck, I can live off what I got now. Invest some money. Doesn't have probably still does some producing and stuff.
Yeah, I think he's back to it now a little bit because his kids are like grown up.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Rick Moranis, you're the man.
And then there's that post-credit scene where they tease all the
I gotta check that out as soon as we're done recording this. This movie could have been made better. I don't know. With some explanation as to why these monsters are huge.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And some explanation as to why the lizards were able to kill King Kong's family,
but not Kong.
Yeah.
Because he's still growing.
Yeah,
that's Riley says he's still growing, and
Yeah.
he's getting bigger, but he's not as big as the big one, and he still beats the big one.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And I thought the big one wasn't going to come out when Kong was around.
Yeah.
and it comes out. It came out when he got knocked down, but he wasn't dead. And then it's just like it comes out of the water, and it comes out of the water too, right?
Yeah,
So
not the hole.
Yeah, so these things can breathe underwater, I guess.
One thing I did appreciate was the fact that there was no underlying love story between Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston's character.
I thought there was gonna be after he's like telling her.
I was like,
life
please
story.
no.
We don't need it. It's unnecessary. Yeah. I give this movie a 4.5 out of 10. The action sequences were good. Mm-hmm. Some of the dialogue was meh. And Samuel L. Jackson was just way too into killing King Kong.
Yeah, I'll give it a 5.
Yeah.
For the action sequences, the soundtrack.
Soundtrack was great.
The look of the movie. Like, overall, I had, like, as a viewer who is just watching it for the sake of watching a fun movie, that's its purpose. But for reviewing it, like, there are a lot of things that when you think about them, you're like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Done.
Crumpled up and gone. All right, well, let's end it there.
Yeah.
Next episode, we're going to do...
Teeth.
What a ridiculous movie.
Yeah.
I got lots to say about that. All right, we'll go there.
Cool.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Real garbage.